So far, nobody's come up with something to catch the voters' interest this year like the Citizens for Representative Government did a couple of years ago when they wanted to limit voting to individual districts. Still, City Secretary Harold Shank reports 569 absentee votes. That's not a record, but it's well over the 224 absentee ballots cast in 69. Shank is also sticking with his prediction of 75,000 votes tomorrow, compared with a total of only 42,600 in the last election. The candidates, and there are 27 of them working for the 11 council seats in Dallas, don't even appear to be very mad at each other. In fact, some of them are fairly friendly. But 7 of them are crowded into the race for mayor, position 11, and that may well result in a runoff. By the rules, the winning candidate must have a majority of the votes, and it may be a little tough to come out of a 7-man field with a clear majority. In the 10 years Dallas has elected its mayor separately, there hasn't been a runoff yet. 17 other elections are scheduled in Dallas County tomorrow. 63 seats are up for grabs in those elections. Only 15 candidates are unopposed. Some elections have already been held in conjunction with school board elections, and interest in many has run pretty high. But it's doubtful that voting will be as good tomorrow anywhere as it was in Coppell over the weekend. That northeast Dallas County town has 610 registered voters, 437 of them cast ballots. Bill Reynolds, Channel 8 News on the Move.
If the very light absentee balloting is any indication, Fort Worth is due for a very, very light turnout at the polls tomorrow. City Secretary Roy Bateman estimates that fewer than 26,000 of the city's 150,000 registered voters will turn out. Now, one school of thought dictates that this is because of the recent school board elections. Citizens just don't want to go to the polls twice during the same 4-day period. However, another group have put it this way, that this has been a campaign of personalities rather than issues, that candidates are sniping away at possible character flaws rather than political philosophies. Either way, it looks like it's going to be another shameful, ho-hum day at the polls in Fort Worth. Jay Lewis, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
The basic problem, I think, is the whole philosophy on the part of the American people, that we're just not willing to believe what is actually actually going on in many of our nation's nursing homes. They were just not willing to live in a world of reality and accept the facts as they now exist of boredom, of lack of attention, of filth, of debilitation of the human mind and the human spirit and the human body, of the aged American when he is forced to enter someday a nursing homes. We have good nursing homes. Most of them are non-profit nursing homes. Most of your profiteering type centers or convalescent centers for the elderly are, I think, what I would term as substandard, because they have one thing in mind, and that is a profit. This is their motive. This is their reason for coming into being. This is the very reason for existence. I think this is a dangerous situation.
RailPAC's incorporator Charles Luna was in town today to explain how RailPAC's affected Dallas and Fort Worth. Well, Fort Worth is going to be a part of that May 1st opening. Dallas, well, they say that we don't have the proper terminal to take care of passengers. While Luna was at it, he took a slap at the Chamber of Commerce and the city fathers of Dallas. As it happens, Luna is a native Dallasite. He said that we had let passenger service for rail travelers die in May of 1969 without lifting a finger. He says that he's seen no indication that we're trying to do anything else about changing it. The manager of transportation for the Dallas Chamber of Commerce, Ken Tubbs, takes exception to that, saying that he's contacted many area congressmen and has worked very closely with the RailPAC's people. Well, nonetheless, it comes down to a point of when is Dallas going to get that rail service for passengers. We're not going to get it May 1st. They say that we do not have a proper terminal for passengers. Well, this is Dallas Union Terminal. And today it was broadly hinted by Mr. Luna that we could use Union Terminal as a temporary facility.
I say that you'll have to go as part of the Union Terminal or find some place where we can get some ground and build a station out where it'll have plenty of parking facilities and where it'll be easy to get to. We went out there today and looked over the Union Terminal. You can take the tunnel and take the two tracks, 10 and 11, and use the parking lot on the other side, on the Cata Street side of it, and block it off and build all you need there in 30 days where you could operate in here.
Although RailPAC's incorporator Charles Luna was quick to criticize city fathers and the Dallas Chamber of Commerce concerning their enthusiasm for rail passenger service, he didn't seem to have an answer as to when Dallas is going to get that rail passenger service. An evaluation team is to come to Dallas and to decide whether to use Union Terminal or build another facility soon. But when? This is Malcolm Landis with Channel 8 News on the Move.
This is Azalea Lane, located in downtown Dallas. Sometimes referred to as Main Street between Ackerd and Irvay, Azalea Lane only exists each day this week through Thursday between 10 and 2:30. The lane is filled not with traffic, but with arts and crafts, flowers, wandering musicians, and people on foot. Azalea Lane. It's all part of the second annual Azalea Festival of Dallas. And who knows, it might catch on.
a growing city. We're going to have more of these type fires, and we're probably going to rate of about 40% of the year, and we're only having about 25% increase in the number of these type of fires.
Do you have a good fire code in the city of Arlington?
I think our fire code is as good, and it is enforced as good as any in the United States.
Where does this fire code come from?
It comes from the National Fire Prevention Code, which about 90% of the cities in the United States have and have adopted.
Well, the absentee voting machine is shut down now in the Dallas City Hall, and the machines are shut down in the 17 other city halls in Dallas where elections are being held this election day. In an hour and a half, perhaps a little less, the polling places will be shut down too, and that's when the action moves once again to the city halls where the votes will be tabulated for the city council elections. By the time the distance markers come up, City Secretary Harold Shanks figures that 75,000 Dallasites will have cast their ballots in the election. That estimate is based on the 569 people who voted absentee by the time absentee balloting closed as of Friday. But the precincts Channel 8 visited today seemed awfully light. We talked to 4 precinct election judges, and in some cases fewer than 5% of the voters had cast their ballots. It's heavier in South Dallas, which may indicate a trend on the voting, but then again it may not. And of course the great influx in voting hasn't come yet. That's always between 5:30 and 6:30 or the close of the polls.
There may be something of a problem in Dallas because 27 people are running for the 11 city council seats, and 7 of those are candidate for the mayor's position in place 11. Well, that's led to speculation that there may be a runoff because there must be a clear majority of the votes, and it may be kind of tough to come out of a 7-man race with a clear majority. There's not quite such a great possibility of that in Fort Worth. Jay Lewis visited a polling place today. Here's his report.
This is precinct number 86. In real life, it's a fire station on the corner of Carlton and Camp Bowie in Fort Worth, but today it's a polling place. There haven't been too many people through here all day long. The turnout is rather light, as predicted, but City Secretary Roy Bateman says it's going to exceed by some margin the 26,000 voters he thought would turn out, but not by enough of a margin to make it any kind of a record. And that's the way it's been in Fort Worth. It's kind of a bland end to a bland election. Jay Lewis, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
And of course, the signs of construction are the yellow diamond-shaped signs that, in the case of Dallas North Central Expressway, tell you to merge to the right, one-lane traffic ahead, road construction, and a multitude of other suggestions. These warning signs come upon you for 2 miles before the actual construction starts. A spokesman for the Dallas Police Department today said, when this project was first started about a month and a half ago, warning signs were posted only just prior to the construction. People said, well, that's not enough. So they put them out for 2 miles. And now people driving along the yellow markered cones in single file say, oh, what's that left lane doing over there? Why is it not being used? And like the police spokesman said, there's just no way you can satisfy everyone. Well, this particular construction on North Central is designed to make this expressway safer. They're putting up an expansion center guardrail. But in the meantime, the mere thought of safety construction makes things more dangerous. There have been a multitude of the so-called fender benders, the minor automobile accidents on North Central in the past 6 weeks. Only yesterday there were 5 major accidents, either on the freeway or the access roads. But whether you're on North Central Expressway or any other highway in the state of Texas, you must obey those diamond-shaped warning signs. And in construction zones, you must do what they say, not what that free lane to your left indicates might be a better way to go. And when you get to the other end, it's a relief, of course, to see that last orange cone and know that once again the freeway is clear and it's yours to enjoy. From North Central Expressway, this is Jim Mitchell, Channel 8 News on the Move.
building code is the most modern code that we can possibly have. We're now under the Southern Standard Building Code in Arlington, and it is enforced to the letter of the code. We're not hampered in any manner with code enforcement, and the building code is tied directly to the fire prevention code, one fitting hand in glove.
Do you feel that you just won an election or proved a point?
I think I won an election and proved a point at the same time. I think the people of Fort Worth have been pleased with the leadership that they have had for the last couple of years, and they anticipate and expect the same type of leadership for the next couple of years, and I intend to give it to them.
Now that you have essentially won the race, do you have any plans you've been holding back on in the last couple of months in anticipation?
What type of plans do you have in mind?
For the city.
Nothing in particular, except some plans that I had mentioned during my campaign that we have been working on for some time, which you cannot make instant decisions on.
I don't think that I should run again. The people that are so desperate to keep me away from the council table will still be here, most of them, and they have the money, the means, they have the machinery. They can hire the trash mouth people to get on the air and on the telephones and say all manner of vile things about a candidate. I would say this in my political career, that this is the dirtiest, most slanderous campaign I've ever seen.
Tommy, considering the low turnout, do you feel that the people of Fort Worth really feel that it makes a difference who is mayor?
Apparently they don't. I think they're so disgusted with politics, period, from Austin to the White House.
The city providing a better transportation system for citizens of Fort Worth. So far as the library proposition and the development of Meacham Field along with the regional airport.
Just another bunch of idle promises, and at least the town hasn't blown up under past administration, and although there's some evils here and there's some things that could be done there, they don't believe people anymore.
For most junior high and high school students, Easter vacation is a time for fun and games. But for 23 D. Malay boys in Pleasant Grove, it means trash, 24 hours a day. The James Ladd Burgess Order of the D. Malay chapter chose as their project for the second year in a row to devote from noon yesterday to midnight Friday to a trash marathon. They work in 6-hour shifts, day and night, along the major thoroughfares of Pleasant Grove to pick up what others have carelessly discarded. Last year, the boys picked up over 3 tons of trash. But this year, Ronnie Bentley, Master Counselor of the D. Malay, says the trash business is even better. Or worse. For Channel 8 News on the Move, this is Judy Hanna.